How's it going, guys? It's Delta Y here, and today I kind of want to talk about Battlefield 6 and where the season, with season 1 ending, kind of a recap, and then season 2 of the upcoming delayed season 2. So, before we get into season 2 and my opinions on that and what I hope to see, let's talk about season 1 overview. So, season 1 came out, ran between October 28th through January now, and phase 1 consisted of Rogue Ops, which was included a new map, Blackwell Fields. You probably heard a lot about things about Blackwell if you into um, Battlefield, but it wasn't a great map. Um, Airfields were an issue. The moment you take off, you're locked on by anything. You can lock onto enemy plane as soon as it takes off. I kid you not. Vehicles as well. If someone's the ground elevation was at the best. If you're at a hill, you can lock on to a new to a tank that just spawned in with a javelin or something, or the APC's lock-on missile. Blackwell wasn't the best. I think it's an okay map, but it suffers from the usual Battlefield 6 problems. It's too small of a map, and it was kind of bland to look at. The game mode, Strike Point, was a 4v4 mode with round-based elimination, 1 life per round. I never played it, and so I can't really talk about it much. The new weapons were SOR, which is a carbine, GGH, a new sidearm, and the mini scout. I haven't used any of these 3 weapons, but I do see a lot of snipers using the mini scout, and I think that's by far one of the best snipers in Battlefield 6 at the moment. Um, the new vehicle that was released in phase 1 was the Traverser Mark II APC. This vehicle I do like. I use it all the time. I unlocked all the attachments for it. All the loadout customizations for it. It's not that hard, but I think it's useful. I was hoping a closed top vehicle personnel carrier was going to be introduced soon, because the Jeeps, they're open top, you can get sniped out of it easily, but the machine guns are great. The machine gun in this game, the machine gun emplacements are great. I just wish that they add a shield for the Jeeps, or at least bring back maybe like a traditional Humvee or something that's not as heavy and wide as the Traverser Mark II. Some new attachments, the rail cover, I use that occasionally, in the LPVO scope, don't really use that. And then they also introduced RedSec. So if you don't know, RedSec is just a Battle Royale mode. Um, you can't really change the gameplay of Battle Royale, so it's pretty straightforward. I played it for a little bit, it was fun, I do like it, and with it being free to play, I was hoping it would introduce players to the game, and I think it really did, and not many people that I see play it. But it is fun, and I mean it's just a battle royale mode, nothing special, just with a Battlefield spin to it. I do like the stuff that they added to it, and I hope you can bring that to multiplayer. For example, you can call in strikes. I like that. Back in Battlefield Bad Company 2, the recon had access to binoculars that you can call in mortar strikes. I would like something like that being implemented in multiplayer. You know, and then phase 2, which was the California Resistant, um, this is probably more the favorable of the 2 phases that came out for season 1. It came out around November. I'm sorry, the favorable phase out of the 3 phases. But this one came out in November and included the Eastwood map, which is based on a suburban California with says here varied environments, but not really. Eastwood was a great map, definitely better than Blackwell, but it suffers from that same Battlefield 6 experience when you're playing on Conquest. All the other flags are placeholders, except the one in the middle, one flag in the middle. And some maps aren't like this, some are, but most are. You have A and B at some random location, where there's placeholder trees or a placeholder building, and then C is like the central location, and then D and E is also the placeholder for the opposite team. That wasn't always the case in Battlefield games. you used to have where each flag felt like a place to be at, and then the center flag was of course where everybody wanted to go. But if you wanted to spend your time at flag A, you could, and enjoy it. It wasn't just some random building laid about. So that was another issue. And then the game mode, the sabotage 8v8. I actually play this game mode. It's actually pretty fun, but it again, Battlefield thrives on large scale combat, and the new game was that introduced in the season one all focus on small teams. I don't know why they did that. Most people want to play Conquest or the new game Escalation, uh, not the small 4v4s, 8v8s. They're fun, but that's not what Battlefield is. Um, I'm not saying you don't need to include it, but before you include that, focus on what makes Battlefield Battlefield, and then you can add on these small game modes that people can spin off to. You know, they're focused on the spin-offs, trying to make Battlefield what it isn't, and then they want to dial back in onto these larger game modes. No, new weapons, DB12 shotgun. I haven't used that, and the M357, which is a I believe is a 6-shooter, which I do use. That one's pretty good. And then they introduced a new feature, battle pickups. So mainly in the Eastwood map, you can use the shorter launch railgun launcher, and then a minigun. Both were pretty cool, but it did take me back to the pickups that you could get on Battlefield 4. So and it wasn't too overpowered. Like most people weren't picking it up and killing you with it. It was just there for if you wanted to pick it up, which is okay. Phase 3 Winter Offensive. They didn't really include a map. It was just a rework of an existing map, added snow, added a feature, new mechanic, freeze mechanic, that basically if you're not within a heat source, you start freezing and you start losing your health, and you also your health regeneration is affected as well, and I believe your recoil or your accuracy on your gun, you start shaking. And then they introduced the ice climbing axe as a new melee weapon. Cool, great, but overall, I'll be honest, guys, that's a lackluster season one. And then the fact that they extended it to January, so not only was it lackluster for the time period it was supposed to be in, now we extended that time period, and now it's just drawing it out. And I think that's why people are upset, because how can you release a game and the first season is lackluster? What does that tell you about the next few seasons? Not great things. That's why people are leaving. I understand player retention is short compared to how it was before. So you always constantly have to add things to the game to make it feel fulfilling. But skins in the season pass, battle pass, is not the way to go. Most people don't care about that stuff. And the only reason why they're adding it is not because it adds content to the game, but it adds a way to make money. But listen to this. Remove season pass and bring back map packs. Map packs were when games were great. Now that the games are so crappy, so focused on these seasons, is taking the fun out of the game. It's giving us things that we don't want and don't need. Give us map packs. Give us those map packs that change the theme of the game, that had themes around it. I mean, Battlefield 4, a whole map pack dedicated to tank warfare. I remember they introduced these wheeled vehicles, new large scale vehicle superiority game modes. That was awesome. It changed the theme of the game, but it still kept its core fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? So personally, season one was terrible. I mean, the game itself is fun, but for it just recently coming out and the player drops is massive. I mean, that says some things, and it says that people are leaving the game because there's not enough to keep them staying. And there's enough in there, not really enough. It's just I like the game. I like Battlefield. What other game am I gonna play? And I can continue playing the game, but when I play the game and I think back, it's like, man, this feels the same as it was since the game launch. Yes, some life improvements have been made, some mechanics have been improved, balancing, but as far as content wise, it's the same. Besides the new map, everything else in the new vehicle, everything else is just the same. I wish they added more maps. I wish they added more vehicles. And the Little Bird should have been included in season 1. Now they wanted to delay it for season 2, and I hope that that isn't the only vehicle that comes out for season 2. But 8 out of 10, it is. I actually, I'm 90% sure that's the only vehicle that's going to come out. And if I'm wrong, please prove me wrong, please. So let's talk about Battlefield 6 season 2. So season 2, nothing's set in stone, but a lot of leaks. Some leaks that we're talking about here is the new contaminated map. So let me see here. Let me scroll here. So here it says, we know season 2 of Battlefield 6 will add at least 2 new maps, one of them being contaminated. This Battlefield 6 map looks like it takes place across an old military installation on the mountainside. So, and apparently it's between Eastwood and Merrick Valley in terms of size, so making it one of Battlefield 6 larger map. So they show a picture of basically the map from Battlefield 1, and that's what it's based off of, which is cool. I don't mind that. I feel like that's going to be great for visuals and gameplay wise. But two maps, I bet you those are the only 2 maps that they're going to add, because season 1 should have been like a step, should have been a basis of what's to come. And if season 1 is a basis of what's to come for season 2, 3, 4, then the future is pretty bleak, in my opinion. So testing article does also mention that the 86 Little Bird will be planned for arrival in season 2. It should have came in season 1. It should have came in season 1. But I bet you the reason why they're doing that because they don't have vehicles for season 2, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more vehicles, or at least open customization for the for the jets. Why can't we modify our jet loadouts? Mention a remake of the propaganda map. That's good. That's good. Bring back older maps and just remake them into Battlefield 6, because they can't make their own maps. They can't. They're hit or miss with their own maps. Just bring back old maps. And then here, of course, further improvements of the missile turning, hit registration improvements, and then plans for Battlefield 4's Goldman Railway returns, and then Red Sex solos. So that's just a few things that they're adding in season 2. All we have is leaks, but community anticipation is high because season 1 was terrible. So they have to reel us in with season 2. If season 2 flops hard, then I feel sorry for the future of Battlefield 6, because it is a great game. It is a good game. Definitely better than what 2042 was, and it's back to its core fundamentals. But the application and how they're actually releasing the content, it's pretty lacking. So that's my little rant about it. I really hope season 2 brings us all back in. I'm still in, but I hope season 2 brings players back in, because and keeps them in, because season 1 was terrible in my opinion. And then with them delaying season 2, what does that say? Does that say about season 3? Are they going to delay season 3? Are they going to delay season 4? It's pretty much the whole roadmap delayed. But like I said previously, remove season pass, bring back map packs. Maybe in the next Battlefield game that's what they'll do, but I highly doubt it. And the only reason why they do season passes is another way to monetize things, which sucks. But hey, map packs was like a good balance between monetizing, getting more money, and then giving content to the players. Now season pass just feels like it's giving no content that the players want, but taking all the money from the players. So we'll see how season 2 goes, and if when it does come out, I definitely will be playing. I'm still playing it, but I was definitely playing it more and just checking it out, and hopefully season 2 would be a lot better than season 1. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in February if the season 2 releases. Thanks, bye.